What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Bill Bellamy. Welcome to Top Billin, the podcast that's for the culture, the movement, and the discussion. Today, we are delighted to bring in three-time NBA All-Star, three-time NBA All-Team Point Guard, Mr. Gilbert Arenas. Make sure you check out his podcast, No Chill Gil. Welcome to Top Billin, big baby.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, you know, we don't have just no regular people on here. You know what I'm saying? We don't have no regular people on here, bro. Listen, Gilbert, it is an honor to have you on the show. Not only as my friend, but just because I love who you are and I love how you embrace basketball. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
No, I'm being honest. Like, literally, I learned more about you after basketball through your podcast, Dan. I was like, yo, Gil is off the chain.
You know what? That's the best thing about podcasting is the athlete gets to really just talk about everything but like the game. We get to talk about
like we get to learn your personality, your ins, your outs, you know, and your perspectives on things. You know what I'm saying? And one of the most wonderful things that I think that I've learned from watching you is your honesty. You know, I wish that I knew you when you was playing. Like when you was playing, I was just a fan. I was just, that's a bucket. That's a bucket. Like I was always rooting for out there. That's another bucket. I didn't know your personality like I do now. And I just understand so much more. And you also educate. You know, you educate people who are fans like myself about basketball in ways that I don't think we can learn like on Inside the NBA because it's so finite what they can talk about. And it's, you know, you get to expand on situations.
Yeah, when we're playing, we're so controlled.
Okay.
You know what I mean? After each game, they're going to ask us certain questions. We're going to answer them like robots.
Okay.
Right? And that becomes this pull and tug game with the media.
Okay.
And we end up not liking it because the way they narratives run after games or before games.
Or one wrong soundbite.
Even if they're telling the truth, we still don't like
want to hear you?
We don't want to hear the negativity you got to say.
Why is that the situation when, as an athlete, you know that they're there to tell a story, right? They're there to try to create something that is a soundbite. How come most players seem to just not really appreciate what it is? It's entertainment.
It is, but it's in our expense, right? So when you're talking about NBA players or just all athletes, remember the startup from AAU, high school, college. We don't really get any hate. There's no hate on our journey. Yeah. So by the time we get 19, 20, 21, and you write this article about me for the first time, and it's like,
it kind of sting a little bit.
Like,
I never thought of it like that.
You're calling me a ball hole.
Like I'm a what? I missed 13 shots. I went 4 for 13, and you talking crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. I never thought of it like that.
And then I got to see you every day.
And you know what tripped me out when y'all be like, "Yes, Larry," like you know the reporter. What, Larry?
Yes. And that's what it becomes. It's like I'm watching you. I know you can't say great things about me every single day,
right?
But I'm expecting it.
You're expecting to get some love, not all hate, right?
Yes, like I'm expecting for an outsider to call me a ball hole.
Okay.
Not the person I see every day.
Cool. Not you. And it's almost like somebody at the job that's worked with you talking crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. I get it.
And that's where it comes from, like Stephen A. Smith and all of them. I expect them to give their honest opinion.
Right.
And I'm still not gonna like it.
Okay.
Because you're holding me accountable when I don't want to.
Where you really don't. Okay,
I really don't.
This is the thing that I love about where you are now. You're comfortable in your skin. I feel like, you know, you don't have to cater. One of the things that I think is the most important thing is being who you are, right? And you have gotten an opportunity, in my opinion, to actually fall into who Gilbert Arenas is, right? And your honesty sometimes, I've seen like it kind of go left. Cats don't want to hear it. What happened when why can't they take the truth from another athlete? When you know they know you know what you're talking.
So what happens is when you go at an athlete, right?
Okay.
They're gonna get hit.
Okay.
Then they want to see your next response on when they do good. So if you kill them when they do bad, but you don't praise them when they do good, they off you. They don't want to hear what you have to say anymore. But with me, because I'm fair, if you did bad, this week, I'm going to talk about it. If you do good this week, I'm going to talk about it. You know, so then it's like, all right, he's honest.
Yeah, because it's an ebb and flow. I mean, obviously everybody can't score 50 every game, but you know, I guess you know there's a lot of pressure on you guys that as a fan, as a guy like myself, I always try to picture like other fans that love basketball. We forget how much pressure is on you guys. You know, to be excellent, so to speak. They give you all this money, and they expect you to perform on a level every single night. Did that ever affect you once you got your big payday?
No, because at the end of the day, I know the way the game works, right? As long as I put my work in, I'm above average. Because of the work I'm putting in, I'm going to be above average. So I know I can't go 0 for 20 every game. I know I can't go 20 for 20 every game. I know I'm going to miss big shots. I know I'm going to make big shots. But the routine keeps me above everyone.
The discipline that you do. Okay.
You know, so I'm expecting out of 82 games, I'm expecting to have 3 or 4 really horrible games that season.
It can happen.
Yeah, it's supposed to happen. You know what I mean? You know, so when it's
if you great, you still gonna have.
So
out of 82 games, you gotta have 5 where it just looked like you had some bad.
You're like, damn, you ain't practicing. You know, but that's what the hard work gets me. 5.
Right. Hard work.
Hard work gets me 5 bad games out of 82 seasons. Now, when you're talking about 15 bad games, now you're just an all-star. Now, if you're talking about 20 bad games, you're just an average basketball player. Below, you know what I mean? So your work ethic. So if you know you're going to have 5 bad games, when those games come, it doesn't really hit you like that. You just all right, play tomorrow. Boom, 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 boom.
All right. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you about is like, and this is something as a fan that I've always wanted to know, and it's that like when you guys off the clock, you know, you're traveling, you're going to the next city. I have heard so many great stories about you guys playing cards or dominoes on the plane. What was your game that you like to play?
So when I was broke.
When you was broke.
When I was broke in the NBA.
Okay. You was broke in the NBA?
Hell yeah, I got drafted at 31 and spent all that money before the season started.
Oh yeah, you was stupid as
hell. Yeah.
You was crazy.
I was one of those.
You was that dude. I'm gonna spend the money before I get the money.
Yes.
Okay. We all make mistakes.
But you know what? Okay, so there's this thing that nobody really pays attention to. So when we leave college in March, April, right?
Okay.
So around April, everyone's deciding they're gonna, you know, enter the draft.
Okay.
Well, we don't get our first NBA check until November 15th. So from April to November 15th, it's all credit. So when you see young boys in the draft with their jury on, that's all credit.
So who giving y'all the card?
The agents, bank loans, because we're projected.
Yeah. I can give you a card for $1 million right now because I know you're going to go top 5.
Exactly. Gotcha. So, you know me, I'm thinking I'm, you know, top 12, top 15.
I'm easy top 12.
So, you know, I spent about 300. Easy.
So now you got pressure on you at the draft that don't nobody know about because Gilbert in the hole a little bit.
But that's why
nobody know that.
But that's why everybody, when you see them in the green room and they sitting there like,
I am literally thinking y'all sitting there pins and needles because you want to just get drafted. No, you sitting there because you 750 in the hole.
Yeah, you 750 in the hole thinking you was about to get $4 million. You like,
And the crazy part, if the top 20 dudes went already and you thought you was going to be a top 20, now you in the 30s.
Yes.
And the 4. Oh.
And now you counting your money now. Now you sitting there like, I done messed up.
Nobody told me that. That's crazy.
So basically, what ended up happening with me is I, you know, fixed my Escalade up, you know, like, you know, I'm thinking about
a couple things for yourself, Gilbert.
And then I realized I spent all that money. All that money's gone.
You ain't had nobody tabulating like, yo, Gil, this week we did 15 grand.
No, they did that after. They did that after I got drafted.
Hey, they tell you, that's like in the record business, they tell you after you really ask for your first royalty check, then they hit you with the bill that you spent, and it's $18 million. Yeah. So you're you don't get nothing, homie.
And that's what ended up happening. So,
wow.
You know, nobody knows that's a big gap between April and November 15th.
So there was a reason why Gilbert Arenas came into the league and started getting busy.
Yes, because I had so much pressure of like, I got 2 years. I got 2 years
to prove myself.
To get that next check. Because
but
this
that
check
next,
right here is gone.
Really? So what is the minimum for rookies? Is it a 2-year deal?
Back then, it was a 2-year deal was the max. Okay. Other than that, it was 1 year.
Okay.
So I had to lobby for 2 because I already spent number 1. 1 was gone. We can just chop that up. Bill, 1 was gone. So I was living off of number 2.
Jesus,
I was living off the second
year. Why didn't you call me? I would have helped you. I was on MTV. I was good.
Like I was struggling.
I could have loaned you till you got the money.
That's what I said. I was struggling. So from there, it was the best thing that happened to me because now I'm on tunnel vision.
You focused.
You know what I mean? I'm on tunnel vision. I'm broke.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So now it's just hard work. Like I got less than 24 months to change my life.
To change your life again.
I got 12 months of basketball. Wow. And I'm the 15th player on the team.
This is crazy. So you actually got drafted at 30 what?
31. So
31.
That puts me number 15th on the roster.
In the NBA period.
NBA.
That's too low. That's too low. So what we didn't realize is that Gilbert Arenas was a warrior and realized that I made a mistake and I'm going to climb up out of this thing.
Yeah.
That's gangster. Nobody talks about that, bro.
You got to remember that the first 2 months is the first 2 months of basketball season is a reality check of depression.
Why? Because
I'm broke.
Because you're broke. Okay, so
I'm broke. I'm not playing.
You're not playing. Okay, you 30. So like you said, if you go past 15, you technically a practice player, technically, or maybe you get a little bit of burn.
Not necessarily.
25.
You can be a top lottery pick and not get no time, depending on you get picked on the wrong team.
That's true. You
know what I mean? It's all about teams. So when you're in the first round, after lottery, you're still trying to. You're gonna have to battle for points.
You gotta
battle for just time itself.
Wow, damn! The pressure you guys go through is insane.
But at the end of the day, no draft number gives you the green light for anything. You still gotta put that.
So you're always, no matter what it is, you're always still feeling the pressure to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
You gotta remember the number 1 is feeling the pressure of being the number 1 player.
All right. I want to segue with this because we talk about pressure and most recently in the press, I say in the last maybe 7 to 8 years, we've heard athletes talk about depression or talk about their mental health as they are still deemed to be successful players, right? Do you think that that's a good thing for them to be vocal? And if there is, what are we doing to try to help athletes get through? I know that a lot of people smoke weed. I know, but when you wake up out the weed, the problem is still there.
Okay, so that is a double-edged sword.
Okay, go ahead.
To say you have
mental health issues
in sports.
Why?
Because everyone's supposed to be a lion. Now, if you're a wounded lion, everyone's coming for you. Okay. Everyone's coming to take your spot. They feel you are weak-minded.
So you can't win.
So you can't win that battle when you say, like, that is one of those things where, as a player, you got to remember our whole game. When you're at that top, it's all mental at that point. Physically and all that, everyone's physically gifted. Everyone has a gift. Okay. What separates the players is mentality. So if I see you're weak-minded, I'm coming at you.
And we don't really technically feel the sympathy that we should have for these guys, because as athletes, you're taught to be fearless and to never have any wounds, or so to speak, right? So like for me as a fan, watching, somebody like Kyrie, like I remember like Kevin Love mentioned it in a really great interview about what he was dealing with. Mike Beasley was another guy that actually really talked about it and opened up to it. And then I saw there was a while back, Delonte West was going through something, and he really was going through a tough time. And Mark Cuban went out and, tried to help him get back on point. And it's just like, we never understand. This is why I wanted you to come on my show, because people don't understand what you guys have to endure, right? Whether it's the press, whether it's an injury, whether it's you trying to get your money and people talking crazy on other shows and make you not get your money. Like I always felt like, and as Stephen A. Smith would tell you, he's my man. But sometimes, like, I was like, Steve is going so hard on Kyrie about him not showing up for work. Like, and he's not bankable, and he's not this. But what if Kyrie really have a real issue that Cats is overlooking? Like, we don't know. You know what I mean?
So you have, that's what I said, you have moving parts when it comes to, you know, as a player.
Okay.
Now, when you talk about Kevin Love, right? And he came out and said, you know, he's dealing with mental issues.
Absolutely.
What happened to him in them games? He's soft. Go at him. Go at him.
Everybody going at him.
Go at him. He's soft. Right now, think.
So they basically just jumping on your
Jumping.
pressure.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, I'm trying
The
to take your
dogs.
spot. Like, wait a minute. Now you got teammates. You got teammates like.
That's how messed up the world is. Oh, you know he crazy? Let's find out.
Yeah, but this is a sport where everyone's trying to be dominant.
Absolutely.
It's the alphas coming out.
There
So
you
now
go.
we see someone just like in the jungle.
In the jungle, it's real.
If a lion is wounded,
He's
they
done.
all
Here
attack
come the
him.
hyenas. The hyenas like,
The lions
oh
get
my
him.
God, Simba is gonna catch one
You got to remember the lions don't want weakness in their.
in their pride. That's real.
So same thing with
Wow.
the NBA. So everybody that Kevin Love went at when he had a tough mental, they coming.
Here they come. So like
So
a
you
guy
see
like
a Draymond Green.
like Draymond Green. Oh well,
You see Draymond Green go at him. Oh, he's weak.
Draymond Green is got to be the quintessential to me new Dennis Rodman in respect of like the energy that he brings to his team, his leadership qualities, and the intangibles that he does for the Warriors, right? I don't think that would work on any other team but the Warriors, like to me. But what he has committed to on that team and his contribution is enormous. Now, I don't think they would be tough without him.
But that's his job,
Right.
right? To make sure that nobody goes at the people that's not as strong mentally.
Yeah, because
so that's where your mental alpha is.
he
that
is
protects
such
him.
an alpha for the Warriors. Like he is literally to me, the underrated superstar of the team, because when he's on that floor and he's pushing the ball for them and he's like not even caring about buckets and he's kicking it to his guys and picking them up off the ground, I think that is an invaluable asset.
But that's what I said. When you're facing them and you're trying to go at Steph and Clay, you got to get through that tiger first. The built tiger.
Yeah, the big boy.
Yeah, so that's why the skilled players still get to be skilled. But just like somebody like Kyrie's mental,
Yes.
as soft as you think he is, when he gets on the court,
That's what I'm saying. This is the thing I don't
it kinda
understand.
hurts you.
Like this is the thing that I don't understand about these athletes. And I want to walk carefully here because I do not want to feel like I'm not respecting what mental health is. How is it possible that when you're on the court, ain't nothing wrong with you? Like you ain't tripping. You playing like a most gifted player ever. Like, oh my God. And then the next player that might have an issue can't imagine taking the last shot. Like it's so bugged out.
because some players, their safe haven is that court, right?
Yeah.
So when they're on the court, that's their peace.
Wow.
So
That's
when you
hot.
take that away from them, that's where this becomes an issue.
Right.
So like somebody like AB, right? All that crazy stuff he does at the end of the Super Bowl. I mean, not in the Super Bowl, in the playoffs.
Antonio Brown, for the
Antonio
people
Brown.
that don't, black people always give,
The nicknames.
we assume, we don't never call you by your real name. You know AB. Okay. You act like people know AB.
Everybody knows
They
AB.
going A,
They
B,
know
C,
that.
D, and they think you
No,
about to
if
say
you say
alphabet.
if you say KB, everybody know Kobe Bryant.
There you go. Boom.
Everybody.
All right, go ahead.
So with Antonio Brown, what he did at the end of that game, right?
That was crazy to me. Yeah, I'm with you.
What did the coach tell him? We don't want to put you in. You're taking what he loves away from him. So when you take what keeps him whole,
He's been doing his whole life.
yes, when you take away what keeps him whole, he doesn't know. His stability is gone. So what happens with Kyrie, right? He just wants to play basketball.
He doesn't want to do interviews. He doesn't want people in his personal life. I could respect that. I get it. But, you know, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, when you're that talented and they're giving you $1 billion or whatever, you know, there's expectations. You know what I'm saying? It's like even with Ben Simmons, you know, another guy that I have seen work out, you know, you've seen work out. And I've seen, and I tell people all the time, like, y'all sleeping on Ben Simmons. Like, I don't know. I'm here in LA. And I'm watching NBA players get busy and dedicate to their craft on the regular, especially during COVID when nobody was working. The guys was in the gym and they was working out. And I seen Ben Simmons do his thing. And I mean his thing. I was calling everybody in New York this year. Y'all in trouble. Y'all, you don't know basketball. I was like, all right.
I know what I'm watching.
I know what I've seen Ben Simmons do. And it wasn't just practice. I know what his talent is capable of. I have yet to see it consistently happen in his game on the court. Now, my question is, and we can be completely honest because we're walking on eggshells, but like, how does he make that transition from what I've seen in a lot of players like yourself when he's so gifted at 6'10"? How does it translate in real-time basketball?
So what ends up happening is structure.
Okay.
Right? When he's in these games and when seeing them, there's no Embiid there that he has to give the ball to.
True.
You know what I mean? So what ends up happening is once he gets back into his structure, he has rules. Those rules is get big fella the ball. Right? Get big fella the ball. You worry about getting everybody else the ball. We seeing a whole nother Ben Simmons.
Absolutely.
Like, man.
Man.
Well,
it's unbelievable.
Now, if you take the head honcho off the court,
right,
he has to be that, what we see. But as long as the head honcho's there, there's a pecking order. So his pecking order is this guy first.
It was sort of like the Shaq and Kobe situation where you have a dominant guard that can do X, Y to the Z, but then you have a big man that's a dominant. I mean, Embiid had probably, in my opinion, he could have easily been the MVP this year. And he's dominant. He is actually probably one of the most gifted big guys in this era with skill, mass, soft touch, mid-range game crazy. He pulls up for threes. Like, he can actually do everything. So how do you not give him the ball?
And that's where the mental part of it is. Like, you have so much game and you can't unleash it because you have this gifted guy down there. But then
how do you find a happy medium, huh?
You don't, because the fans becomes the problem. Like, you should be doing more. He's like, well, what I'm doing is, since he's the offense, I'll be the playmaker, I'll be the defender.
Correct.
Cool, right? We cool? Like, all right, we cool. And then when I don't take a shot that y'all think I'm supposed to take, because I'm mentally trying to get everybody involved, boo. What the hell y'all booing me for?
There you go.
I'm the point guard. I'm the one who's supposed to be out here dishing and dabbing.
I'm
Magic Johnson out here. What y'all booing me for?
I'm just saying, like, I'll be honest with you, man. Like, and this is why I wanted you on the show, because I wanted you as an athlete and a guy now that has your own podcast that actually, you know, has a strong point of view. I wanted to ask you this question, and hopefully you can answer it. How is it that guys are doing things that are messing up their money? Like, for instance, okay, most recently, Miles Bridges, who I think is on his way to, like, I feel like Charlotte is maybe 3 or 4 years away from being like a real problem in the East, right? Maybe 2, who knows? Miles Bridges is in a position to change his life forever. Weeks before that, I don't even know if it was days before that.
2 days.
My bad. 48 hours. I can't say what I'm going to say, but this man, unfortunately, has a blunder that is of a magnitude that makes no sense. A charge of domestic violence, allegedly this, allegedly that. It messes up the paper. Is there any guys or any system in the NBA or where people talk about the do's and the don'ts? I mean, you don't do none of that.
So look,
Golly.
Listen,
It make me hurt. It ain't even my money.
But you gotta remember, it's life, right? It's a relationship.
Jesus Christ.
Right? So it's just the relationship, and we don't know what's going on in the relationship. We don't know what the fight is about.
But why are we fighting when we worth $300 million?
Because it's a couple.
You can't can't get somebody to
fight for you.
Fight you. You get somebody to be a negotiator. When you worth $250 million, you shouldn't be fighting with nobody. You should. I'd never forget. I was hanging out with Floyd Mayweather, and he had an assistant to tell somebody something. He said, "I'm not talking to this." And it was transferred. No.
But you gotta remember, we're talking about relationships in real time. So you don't know what they're arguing about.
Yes.
They start arguing. If it might have been a girl calling, who knows?
Go on the phone
and just
whatever it is.
They get in the fight, right?
Okay.
So we don't know if it was one of these.
How many times? I mean, and even you've been in a situation in your life back in the early part of your career where you were in a situation that got out of control. Great, cool. Mm-hmm. You talked about it a million times, but like the slap. There are moments in your life that a mistake could cause you to be off your square forever, or just set you back from something that you've been working your whole life to get. How do you manage it? And you have managed it. I mean, you found a way to kind of get through a situation that, for people that are listening, there was a gun pulled out a long time ago in a locker room situation over gambling, just silliness.
Yeah, just silly.
Just silly. Yeah. It didn't even make no sense. But you suffered for something that you didn't even cause.
It's just, you just gotta, when you're young and you're an athlete, you're in competition, right?
Absolutely.
So it's hard to just turn it off all the time. It's really hard. Like I had a teammate. True story. Just like Miles, but different.
Okay.
This one's even funnier.
Okay.
Funnier.
This
is funny. The other one is serious.
Okay.
This is funny on how someone drops the bag.
Okay. This is called dropping the goddamn bag.
So they were negotiating 5 year 40 million. 5 years for 40 million. Okay. Unproven player, 5 years 40.
Okay.
They wanted to sign him early before he blew up. Right?
Because that number was going to jump.
Yeah, so that number's going to jump. So that's why like somebody like Zion, that's why he get his money early, because they're afraid he's going to blow up and it's going to be a lot higher. So they agreed the night before, right? The guy got so excited that he got a party. Right? He got a party. So in his mind, he just signed for 40 million.
Woo! We are partying.
Yes.
I'm partying.
Driving to the club. Sees a fine lady on the side of the street.
Don't tell me she's $40 million.
What? Pulls down the window. Hey,
boo. What's up, mommy?
Oh, no. So what you talking about? How much you charging? 180.
$180.
No. It's $80.
It's $80.
It was $80. Like it said. So it was $80.
Okay.
For some head.
That's what he wanted.
He wanted some head while he has a girl in the car with him. So he trying to get some head for $80. That's how fine that cop looked.
Now he go to jail and
got him. Got him.
$40 million gone.
$40 million gone. He goes in the next day. And I was like, you know what? We can do we can do 5 years still, but let's 15.
Oh,
5 year. I said, man, they put you in a slave deal. See, with Miles, this is the sad part. You was worth 100. Oh, they still want you,
but they're not gonna pay you the same.
They're not gonna pay you because we don't need to now. We don't need to give you the money because you got a black mark on you. They want your talent.
They want your talent, but now you give them a reason not to pay.
I get the same money for the same
sitting my ass down. I will tell my son, if we get to that point and he is about to get his bag.
Oh, you better go hide.
You are going to sit in this house.
Come on, boy.
You're going to sit down. We're going to pray, and we're going to be grateful.
Oh, no.
We're not doing nothing. We're not watching Netflix. We ain't doing nothing.
No. There's players that when that contract's coming up, boy, they locking doors.
Yo!
I
don't want nothing to go wrong to mess up this bag. All the practices, all the places you traveled to get to this point where you know, and once your ink hit this pen, the ink is about to hit this contract, you are going to be worth $400 million. Like that Patrick Mahomes number is crazy. Like,
we need to ask him what I guarantee you.
Did he do that now?
He probably, hey baby, you need a vacation. Hey, let me go send you to an island with your friends for 2 weeks.
I don't want no fighting. I'm gonna pay for all your girls. Y'all gonna have fun. I'm gonna sit in my room and thank you, Jesus.
But some players do that. Like I'm gonna bubble wrap. I had a teammate say, I'm about to bubble wrap myself because I don't want to twist my ankle off of but you got to remember, people don't think about like getting hurt. We feel we're invincible. So, players like, I'm going to sign my contract tomorrow. I'm up here playing in pickup games,
in flip-flops.
We're just doing what we normally do.
All right. Speaking of the word invincible, I'm going to give you your flowers because I know. I'm in this thing about giving dudes that I love. Not only do I appreciate them, but I got to give them their flowers while they can hear it. Speaking of invincible, you had a game where you got 60 points. You beat Kobe Bryant. I seen that game. You was dropping. It was raining. Crossover. Has pull over, come over to half to court. Off the glass. I was like, yo. It was one of the most amazing performances, right? Take me back. When you was playing that game, did you just knew you was gonna have a good game, or how did it happen?
I was catching that rhythm.
Okay.
There's a rhythm, during the season you catch, and when you catch it, you just ride.
Wave.
It's just a wave. Mm-hmm. So I was catching the rhythm. And the rhythm was every time I played on, it's like analytics. Every time I played in this jersey, I'm averaging about 40.
And you had your lucky jersey.
So, I got the jersey. So I know it's 40.
Oh, it's 40.
I know it's 40. This is the jersey.
This is the lucky jersey.
This is the
when
jersey.
I go blue?
Yeah. But so I got the gold on every time we play in this jersey on TV. I'm honey.
If we playing on a Thursday, you done.
So what ends up happening, like game 5 Clay or game 6 Clay, that's a real thing mentally for him.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So when you start like giving us like, this is what I do. So I'm already on. All right. So let me come out and test the heater.
Let's see what I got.
Y'all ain't getting the ball today. So
you was balling out.
So it was one of those games where it was hitting. I'm getting to the free throw line. But to be honest, when people ask me about top 5 moments, that wasn't one of them.
Man, what's better than that? Which one? Like
the 54 against Phoenix was better. The reason is this. Remember,
because they was talking shit.
As a competitor.
Somebody said something about your mom, something crazy.
So I tried out for the Olympic team, right? And they used that politics against me. Okay. So I went in the paper and said, I'm about to score 50 on Phoenix. I'm about to score 50 on this team because I can't go back at Duke, Mike Krzyzewski. So I can't go back so y'all gonna pay. The assistant coach, y'all gonna pay.
Yeah.
So basically, we're going to Phoenix. They're 18 in a row. The number 1 team in the NBA at that moment.
Oh, my God.
The hottest team moving.
And you win in there.
And I'm coming in town, and the whole world says, I'm scoring 50. They know Gilbert is coming in there to score 50. So that means you're prepared.
Y'all better buckle up.
That means you're prepared for the assassin to come in your building and try to score 50. And the fact that I did it and won.
Gee, that's brilliant.
You know what I mean? That's what, as a.
Can we get
you know what I mean?
That's a positive manifestation, brother.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes you unguardable, bro.
Yes.
Sometimes you unguardable. Sometimes I'm unguardable, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's like that.
I know that feeling.
It's like that hacker who told Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Right? Get your team ready. I'm about to hack you.
Okay.
and then hacks them.
Listen.
Like,
I believe entertainers and athletes have similar qualities, right? Alpha male, you know, proud of your gift, you know what I mean? Proud of your gift. I've had nights when I was unguardable, bro. Like, and I'm gonna tell you what I mean. Okay. I'm on stage. There's no other comedian in the planet that can guard me. It's like, cause I'm in my rhythm, I'm getting my buckets, every joke is hitting, pow, pow. But I don't always get a rhythm like that. Like sometimes I get in a zone and I can see the jokes before they happen. So in basketball, is it the same way? Like, I hear a lot of players say the basket was so big it really didn't matter. I wasn't thinking, I was in that sweet spot.
So with you, right? You've been working on the same material, working on different jokes, preparing. And then some nights you get out there and it's just like, you fumbled the joke, you messed up.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what happens on a bad game. And then there's some nights where you go out there and you just loose. I mean, even when somebody throws something at you, you got something back for them.
Yeah.
Someone comes over
I'll be like, why can't I do that every game?
And you be like, man, I couldn't miss today.
Oh my God.
That's how it is in sports.
In sports.
Where no matter what move you did, whatever they threw, you had something for it. And the same thing on stage. But the reason that you have more nights like that than more bad nights is because of practice.
Now, I know I'm gonna start some shit with this right here, but I gotta say it. Is when you was playing in the league, was there certain nights when you knew if this guy was guarding you, you was gonna get 40? Like you just know he couldn't guard you.
Yes.
It's impossible.
Listen, I remember
I mean, if you want to say the name,
everybody.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Everybody. That's how I feel. Everybody. It don't matter. Like all of y'all catching this smoke.
I remember we had a psychologist. They just started bringing a psychologist into the NBA, right? Start fucking with your brain.
Right.
So I remember they did these, they probably have them now, I don't know. So they started testing for like endurance. Are your endurance? How's your body fatigue? So they started putting machines on you, right?
Okay.
So before the game, they put it on me. And it was like, you're at 20% today. You know, because you're pushing at 20%, you're not gonna have a good game.
Oh no.
I said, does this machine tell you the person who has to guard me?
Do you see who guard me?
You see who guard me? He trash. That man trash over there. Man, I'm about to put like.
Why you gotta say that like that? He is trash.
Man, I'm about to give him an easy 30.
Easy
30. And he was like,
he on skates all
night.
Well,
the way it look. I said, man, nobody looking at this shit you talk about, man.
You gotta go by what I see.
Get him 40.
40.
Gave him 40. Nobody talking about them little machines you got putting out. Your body's supposed to put out. I'll show you what my body's about to put out.
Listen.
Show you what my body's about to do.
I had a moment in my life. I had one. I played a lot of basketball coming up, but like in the celebrity games where we used to have like, you have other comedians and then you have like athletes that used to play in college and this, that, and the other. I played with everybody, back in the day. I've had about 2 games like that. Well, I remember 2 vivid games that I had where I was like, I know he ain't guarding me.
Yeah.
Like you killing me. I remember in DC All-Star Weekend, I got MVP. I had 28 points. I could have went for 35. I missed a couple buckets that I just should have made. I could not miss, Gil. I could not miss, Gil. My step back was working, my cross, my in and out. Oh my God. Everybody they was fanning me. They was like, yo, they can't shut him down. And it was one of those nights, man. I still got the trophy at the crib. And I was like, why couldn't I play like that every day? I just can't. It was just one of them times that I was so loose. And I remember when I was playing, I wasn't thinking. I was just being. And the best game of my life, it was in front of everybody. It was right there at, what was the arena? Y'all played at y'all arena?
Yeah, almost?
Yeah, well, I played, because we played on your court in D.C.
Oh, wow.
You remember All-Star Weekend in D.C.? It was cold as hell? You was gone by then?
No, I wasn't in there. What year was that, like 2000?
I want to say maybe 2001.
Yeah, see, I was in Oakland. I was in Oakland.
You went to the
So I was drafted by Golden State first.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wasn't in there yet.
You wasn't there yet. You were still trying to dig your ass out of that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now I have another question that I'm going to ask you that is really interesting, and it's one of the biggest stories in the NBA right now is Kevin Durant. Okay. Biggest story. What to do. And my opinion is this. You opt in, correct? Opt in means you want to stay.
No, he didn't opt. Kyrie opted in.
So Kyrie opted in. They got KD for X amount of years already. Correct?
3 more years.
Three?
I think it's 3 more years.
Okay, 3 more years. Why is KD trying to leave? 1. 2, why does KD have to leave? Why don't they cater to KD? He's the piece.
Okay, so
Am I tripping?
No.
I'm just asking.
No. So when you're talking about KD, right? You're talking about the casual fan now has that narrative of winning championships builds your legacy.
Cool.
Right?
Cool.
No matter if he's the best player in the world, if you don't win, we're not going to put you up there. So now at this point of his career, it's about winning that ring now. Because y'all not going to put him as a top 3, top 4 player of all time unless he has the rings to match it.
Okay.
So now these guys are like, I want the rings. Like I've already led the league in scoring. I already won the MVP. I already did all that. I already did the 2 gold medals. I already did the All-Star MVP. I already got like $400 million. Get out! I'm part owner of Uber. Like I got all that. I want the rings now. I don't want to be Charles Barkley. I'm sitting there. I'm trying to make a point. I'm trying to make a point, and Shaq is like,
you don't have a ring, Charles. It's terrible.
But that's what I'm saying. Why he's trying to make a point, Shaq is over here like,
That's the thing, y'all dirty with that. Players be like, you ain't got no championships.
Yeah. No matter what, listen. No matter if you're losing the argument, soon as he's losing.
What about these chips, though?
What about these chips, though?
Y'all dirty for that, man. Y'all. So KD's situation. Help us understand, because I'm a big fan of KD, and I was excited for that move initially, the pieces that they brought in there, even the piece that with Ben Simmons getting a chance to come out and ball out for them. I was just like, why does KD want to leave when they should be showing KD how much they're invested in him?
Because you have Ben Simmons there.
Correct.
Right? If Kyrie wants to stay, of course KD's staying. So that means Kyrie wants out. So if Kyrie is going to leave, KD's like, I'm out too.
Right. I'm going to just stay here. That's my best friend.
Yep. So that means Kyrie is opting in to his contract.
But they can
they can make a trade.
But they can actually keep you too, right? Or no?
Facts.
I mean, they could be like, yo, I paid you, bro. Listen, bro. Yeah. Won't you sage the court and play ball?
They could.
And which would be painful for him. But, I mean, they could ask you to play.
But it's different than football. Football owners have control.
Okay.
They have control because there's a lot of them. NBA, no control. The players have control.
I know. I mean, So
if I'm the owner, I'm like, nah, y'all gonna play. Gonna play. Y'all go out there and play and let's see what we got first.
Right.
If I don't like what we got by All-Star weekend,
we make change.
Then I'll trade. Because at the end of the day, y'all as athletes, as competitors, are not gonna go out there and tank. Because Kyrie, I can tell you right now, if Steph Curry's coming at you, you gonna be in that much.
He gonna.
I'm gonna show you what Kyrie do.
Yes,
right.
Yes,
so I know you're gonna play and do your thing. So I'm gonna be banking on that. But at the end of the day, as players,
right,
as the owner, if the players ain't happy, you're not gonna just keep them there.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing that is a catch-22 with the NBA is that. Guys like LeBron, in my opinion, changed the narrative, put the power in the hands of the player, right? You dictate where you want to play. You dictate how you want to be paid relatively, you know what I'm saying? Which I think for the most part was a positive thing. The unfortunate thing that I see, well, let's say 18 years later or whenever, I forget, maybe 17 years later that LeBron is still in the league, is that now there is no parity in the NBA because everyone's clamping over here, people clamping over there, and it's like the West is so strong, like because of it. Like the West is like you could split in half because it's so. You got the Grizzlies that's crazy. You got New Orleans that's going to be a problem.
Yes.
You got Golden State back. They took 3 years off, and now they on your ass. Like, what you gonna do with the Warriors if that boy Wiseman come back strong? They're a straight problem. The Clippers just got John Wall. It's a problem. The Lakers, they gotta pray. They gotta pray and do some things, and do like a sponge bath or something. I don't know what the Lakers need to do to get through these, because the West is tough.
You know why the West is tough?
It's unbelievable.
That weather.
You think it's the weather?
It's the weather.
We're not even talking about Denver. If Jamal come back.
Suns, Dallas.
I mean the Suns.
Dallas.
Yo, every time you play in the West, you sweating.
But that's what I'm saying. It's
the East is like 3-4 teams, if that.
Because players are willing to come west because of the weather.
Right.
West versus that cold.
And the weed is legal. No, I'm just kidding.
True.
California.
Not knowing
California
that,
sunshine.
but this is the funny part. Not knowing that to be a star, technically you want to be East. The reason is this. Both coasts get to watch your games. See, when your game comes on at 7, the East Coast watches you. Midwest is only 6.
Correct.
West Coast is 4.
I ain't
right?
think about
So everyone watches East Coast games. Well, if it's West Coast, the game's at 7. That means the East Coast is going to sleep.
Yeah, they're going to bed.
So if it's not a real big game, they're not watching. Like you have to be a superstar for them to watch. But that's how like somebody like Devin Booker can be overshadowed by like somebody like Tatum, because everybody watching Tatum. Only the West is watching you.
See, this is why
but
this is why you got to have an athlete in here to tell you. Because I'm sitting here look like I just went to school, learning like. But it makes perfect sense. Because you don't understand, like, sometimes when you're watching, why they don't talk about this player at all. And this guy's great. They don't get no love. And then, okay, bam.
But the players naturally want to be on the hotter side of the.
There you go. When we look at your career, right? Let's go back. And be honest here. Don't cut no corners with me. When you look at yourself and what you brought to the game, you peak age at 0. What player in the NBA right now at the point guard position could be comparative to you?
Probably Dame and John Wall mixed.
That's nasty.
Because
that's nasty.
When it comes to body structure, moving, speed, power, that's
because you're what, 6'5",
6'4",
6'4" point guard, big shoulders, can move most cats out the way. And
then I got the range and the shooting touch of Dame.
Yeah, you do.
So you got to remember, back then, people don't realize, back then everyone thought Iverson started the new point guard. Iverson was shooting guard.
Yeah.
I was the one coming in as the point guard doing what the guys are doing today. I opened up that window for point guards to basically shoot first. Wow. Right? It's okay to shoot first.
When you go point guard.
When you go on a war, do you want someone standing there with the flag? Like, yeah, this is a man. No, get a gun. Get a gun. right? Like, maybe you can shoot some people. Get rid of some of this. Y'all sitting here with the flag just... And then all the guns is in the back. No. They're going to wipe out that whole front row. So that's how I looked at, like, the point guard position.
Correct.
I'm a weapon. Let me use. Let me use me. So, when I look at the game today, it's like Dame and John Wall.
I see it vividly. I was going to say maybe a little bit of D Wade, a little sprinkle. But D-Wade to me was he was a more of a slasher and explosive. I mean, just explosive. Like so many things that he did because D-Wade was so athletic. It was just spellbinding to watch happen because he just looked like he was going for a regular layup and just jump over 5 people. Like,
yes, it's like a Donovan Mitchell with Ant-Man.
Stupid.
Right? He's not that Ant-Man. Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards, yes.
Anthony, I gotta use use the word. Anthony
People
Edwards.
on top billing when you bring these athletes and they just use acronyms and this, that, and lose all the viewers, all the listeners like, huh? Ant-Man, the movie?
Yeah.
You gotta say
Edwards.
AKA.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards.
Thank you.
AKA the Ant-Man. So he has that powerful jump.
Yeah, the explosive.
That awkward type of movement, which he was like one of the hardest people to guard.
Oh man,
hard to guard.
I mean, just hard to guard. I've watched your podcast. Everybody that's listening, make sure you check out No Chill Gil. It is an outstanding podcast as well. There's always been a debate between the eras, right? Mm-hmm. Always debate between the eras. And I want to ask you this question because in the 80s and the 90s, defense, physicality was a big issue. And guys could literally put their elbows on you. They had, more physicality. Now you can't touch the guards really. Like being a point guard to me and a two guard right now, you actually kind of got it sweet. Like they can't put their elbow on your hip and all that stuff.
But that's because the kids are more talented now. Think about like when Pippen was guarding. Think about the other three men, Kukoc, Glenn Rice. Mm-hmm. They were just all spot-up shooters. They couldn't put the ball on the ground they were more Klay Thompson style. Okay. Just straight shooters. Pure shooters. No one took the ball off. No one did all that. Mm-hmm. So when players started to develop, right, started being more skilled, the rules have to change for them. Right? The rules got to change for the skilled. So why do I want this brute player beating up on this skilled guy? Like no one's coming to see you punch on Michael Jordan.
Like I'll give you a perfect example. This is how long I go back. So I'm in Charlotte. This is when Larry Johnson was playing with Zoe and they had Muggs, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm playing. I'm in the practice with them, and me and Larry just playing around or whatever. And I'm like, you can't guard me, LJ. You can't guard me. He was like, Bill, you ain't gonna be able to go nowhere. You ain't gonna be able to go nowhere, right? So I'm like, LJ big, athletic. I'm quick. I could get by him. I'll never forget this. He said, what you got for this, right? And as soon as I went to do my move, he took his hand and jammed my hip bone, like on my hip flex. I was like, ah! He was like, you ain't go nowhere, did you? It just hit me like real hard. Boom! I was like, ah! He was like, there you go, bro. I told you. And I was like, wow. But that's when they could do that back then.
Yeah, but that's when everyone had to set up plays. So now they can control you. I'm going to get you on the side. I'm going to push you over there so you couldn't do the offense. Well, when players like Allen Iverson started going downhill, this handshake didn't mean nothing.
Yeah, he gone.
Because he's coming at you. He ain't trying to set up, let me sit, and you sitting there guiding me, and I'm trying to throw it into the big. No. I'm trying to score.
Flying.
So now what happens is this guy is flying, and you're trying to hold him, and you're pushing him. You're pushing him into the big. Oh, man, you're hurting him now. Take the handshake off. Because now the game has changed. The game has changed. But this rule isn't. So now I'm guarding you here. Now we're moving with it. Now, Shaq's there, Kobe, put you right in the Shaq. You know what I mean? So that's like, we're going to take the handshake off because the game is moving. So it's no different than comics, right?
Right.
Richard Pryor and Red Fox, we're going to consider that the 70s and the 80s of basketball.
Cool.
Real raw.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do that now.
That's true. You got to adjust your comedy now.
You got to adjust your game.
It's a different game. You're right.
Adjust it. So that's why, like, when you're looking at, like when we talk about 80s basketball, everybody's going to run back to where? When it was at its purest form.
Right.
Because they don't consider this pure. They consider it altered. If you ask comedians, who's your top 5 comedians?
It's always old school.
It's going to always be old school.
We always go backwards. Yeah.
Because it's always at its purest form.
You're right. See this, if y'all listening, this is why I brought Gilbert in here, because I wanted you guys who love basketball as much as I do to hear a real athlete give you the insight that most people don't get on other interviews, or they don't get an opportunity to just, you create such good visuals for us so that now that we understand it in a better way. It was sort of like when I did this movie, Any Given Sunday, I didn't understand football until I was in that movie. And I started to learn the ecosystem of being an NFL player, the amount of pressure that you have, the amount of preparation for every Sunday. Your body is your money. You got an injury, you can't tell nobody. You don't want to mess up, and you know you're on TV. I mean, it's so many components to being a top draft pick. Right now, look, imagine like right now how much pressure is on Giannis to stay at that level. Like one drop off and then they'll jump to somebody else.
But that's no different than anything
in life.
That we're in life. As a comedian, you're trying to stay on top. So you gotta try to figure out how the next joke is gonna hit, the next crowd, what kind of writers you need. Like you're still seeking the best to stay on the top. Because at any given moment, that game can change. That's around right. You, bro. And it doesn't favor you. You know what I mean? Just like the game when, Charles Barkley and all those undersized guys, right, were dominating. And then all of a sudden, the kids are coming to the draft. Kevin Garnett, Ray LaFrance, Duncan. And they're like, 5 man? Is it Shaq at the 5? You know what? I'm going to go to the 4. Yeah. Because everybody at the 4 is only like 6'6". I can, at my 7-foot frame, I can post up and shoot over
all of them.
Anthony Mason and all of these guys. So now all these future 5s became 4 men because they didn't want to guard Shaq.
You can't.
So
it was unguardable,
So
bro.
now when people are like, yo, what happened to the 5 man? They all went to the 4. Because they didn't want to guard that one.
You can't. It was nothing you could do.
But you only playing a man twice a season.
You can't.
But that's what I'm saying. But that
we talking prime time Shaq was he was so dominant that like they was just biting. They was kicking and biting and pulling on him and grabbing him, and he was just too strong for everybody.
That's what I'm saying. But just like if you're not prepared and you're not seeing the future coming,
right,
you can get pushed out without even realizing it.
Right.
So like right now, like, when like the LeBrons come in and all these big kids and these intangible kids come in, and if you're like a 5'11", 6-foot point guard, and now kids like Luka is coming in, you're like, wait, hold on, I gotta guard him.
And he's 6'8".
Now you're irrelevant to the new game, and especially if you don't have, John Morant type of jumping ability that can. You know what I mean? Just like comedians, right? You're going in your routine, and then what happened with you guys? Instagram kids.
Yo, Instagram kids is dominating with just a click, 30-second video.
30-second, like, boy, you
and I worked 3 years on my 3-minute skit.
and that's what I said. Something you don't see coming just comes, and you're like, wait.
Yeah, I never thought about it like that, bro. Yeah, bro. That's why you gotta keep evolving your game and keep adding pieces, and just much like you have done. You played at a high level. You have created a life outside of basketball. When you look back at your life now, and you could tell present day Gil to the young Gil, what would you tell him? Looking back,
I was telling my son, I said, I was a workaholic when I played, and I said, I'm telling you right now, if I can go back, I will work harder.
Really?
Yes,
even harder,
because watching the kids now doing things that I didn't think about, right? Like after the game, like I'll work out 3-4 times a day. Now you got kids 3-4 times a day, and they're working out after the game. Like, I didn't think about after the game. I didn't think about after the game. I'm warmed already. The gym's there. I can still get my shots up, and then I can go to the club. So, now knowing that, man, that
more
kid,
preparation.
You know what I mean? I would have prepared more.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, damn, I could have actually won that MVP if I would have worked out
just a little more.
Game.
Man, it's interesting, man, how much there is no ceilings on effort.
No.
And I try to tell this to my kids as well. Sometimes effort is a superpower over talent. And sometimes effort is one of those things that you just can't account for, and it comes from an engine. I don't know what it is that you put in your head. Maybe you said, okay, I got on my lucky jersey tonight, so my effort is going to be on 1 billion, and I'm going to kill everybody moving, right? Or maybe you came from a bad situation family-wise, and you decide that I'm going to put my city on my back, and that's your effort, right? Today, I often wonder when I look at not only athletes, but just people in general. Do you find when you look at these athletes, they have that chip that we had like coming up? Just
no, they don't have the chip. They have the love. It's different.
Okay.
You got to remember, to make it in something, you got to have pain, right? That road that we all know. You got to remember, the 80s and the 90s, early 2000s, it was built off pain. Like, I want to get my mother out of this house, and, we've been drug infested. That drove the athlete.
Okay.
You got to remember, those athletes had kids.
Yes, they did.
Those kids are privileged.
Yeah.
So for those kids to make it, they got to love it.
They're not coming from the same circumstance.
No. So they gotta obsess about it. Like, oh, I gotta go watch the game. I gotta go play the game. So you gotta remember, you're Steph. His father was an NBA player. Clay, father was NBA. So what ends up happening is they fall in love with it. See, the pain didn't really necessarily was love. They're doing it out of pain, so I don't have to feel that way anymore.
You might want to start preaching.
You know what I mean? So this love,
you might want to have a sermon. Can the church say amen? Can the church say amen and amen?
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
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 Gee, did you hear him preaching? Did he
He been going to church all night, Jack. What you talking about?
He said, walking like a talking.
Yeah, so that love is what was pushing these kids. So that's why, like, if you look at the new NBA, man, these is privileged kids.
Yeah, my son's one of those kids.
They don't care about the money.
I just trying to give him some thug shit.
But we don't need. You don't need to.
He don't know it.
But you don't need to.
He don't.
Because these kids. You got to remember, these kids are like, I want to sit in the gym 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, but like my son, he wants to do 2 a days, 3 a day. Like, he's actually, like you said, actually in love with it, which is a blessing, when you think about this generation, because like me, I just didn't come from that kind of opportunity. My dad and mom didn't have that kind of money to do nothing. I couldn't go to none of them camps. I couldn't. I didn't have none of that. Like, and I still learned how to play. Like, but if I could have had a training, a goddamn coach, somebody believe in me, gee, I would have made it.
But that's what I said. But now look at them, because they do have it.
Yeah.
So now they have the love plus the training.
Plus the training is awesome.
You know what I mean? So it's like, phew. So them 200, 300, 400 millions is because these kids is like, we can look at the numbers and say, oh, it's inflated and this and this. Nah, they're just different.
Wow.
This generation is just different.
Like, I remember.
Can't compare.
This is a funny thing, because I thought about this the other day. I said, I'm gonna ask Gil about this. I remember when the money jumped, and I'm gonna tell you where I was, and you're gonna remember it. If you might have been in college at this time. I was with Alonzo Mourning, Larry Johnson, the weekend that David Falk. It was a movement. It was the first like 100 million move. I don't know if y'all remember this. We going back, it might be 95 for
Big Dog.
It was Big Dog got 100 and something. And then Alonzo Mourning got 100 and something. Then Larry Johnson was like, I know I'm supposed to get 100 and something. Then
Chris Webber.
This is it was the craziest amount of money that was given out. And I remember GP got 85 million. So I don't know what year this was, but I remember the numbers was like, poof, poof, poof. And they was all David Falk clients, I think, roughly at that time.
So what happened was the way the CBA moved, collective bargaining agreement.
Yes.
The way it moved is those guys who was peaking. So that's when, like, because Jordan and was handicapped, And then that's when Jordan came out of it. It's like, I want $33 million a year.
Yes.
Because that's when like Big Dog was like, as a rookie, I want 100.
Yeah, and it happened.
He ended up getting 8, which is a horrible deal. It was amazing at the time, but it was a disaster because that's the only contract he signed. He signed it $80 million for 10 years when most deals was 4 years.
Yeah, that's too long.
So he never got a second contract because he was stuck in that long deal. So it looked great at the beginning, but like 4 or 5 years into it, he's like,
I shot myself in the foot. Yeah.
You know, that was like the same thing with Magic Johnson when they gave him $25 million for 25 years.
Yeah, $25 million for 30 years.
Like it sounded great because he's the first like millionaire, but it was like, wait, hold on, 25 years.
When that kind of money is definitely being given out. I remember that moment. I was with Gary Payton. It's a true story, and Gary had just got his money, and I was in Seattle doing the show. So Gary and Sean picked me up. And this is when the Land Cruiser was. I don't know if you ever was in the Land Cruisers. Land Cruisers had a moment in life. And they pulled me up in the brand new Land Cruiser. I said, oh my God. And I go to Gary Payton's brand new crib in Seattle overlooking the lake and the boom, boom, boom. I will never forget this moment. He had a 6 or 5 car garage. I remember it was crazy. He was like, B, let me show you what this money do. And I said, GP, you can't be. He had covers on his cars. I will never forget this. I said, oh my God, I got to get rich. I got to get rich. He pulled this cover off. It was a Ferrari. He pulled this cover off. It was like some vintage. It was like velvet, It was almost like, what you like about that? He had the velvet on it.
Yeah.
And you roll it back neat. Like this. And I'm literally like, I'm so happy for him and so proud of him. And I'm like, Gary, this is what it's like. He was like, dog, I just got my money. And the crazy part, and he hadn't had the furniture and stuff yet. It was just getting put together. His tub was big as a goddamn Escalade. I just remember, I was like, what kind of human has a tub that like 20 people could fit in? And I was like, I got to get a tub like that.
Yeah.
If when you first got your money, was there anything, I just want to know, like, was there anything that you did that you go, man, I just did it crazy? What would you? I know you did. I heard about one of them.
Okay, so what ended up happening is I have Chris Mills.
Okay. C Mills.
Yeah, C Mills is my veteran, right?
Okay.
So it kind of helped me when I got my money.
Okay.
Because I'm watching a player that just has the it of it's.
Okay.
Like every Lamborghini he got was like perfect.
Bananas.
Just like, oh, like, right?
Right.
No, Escalade. Oof. Like you could not top. I don't care what kind of money you had.
C Mills always had some whips.
It was like the whips were just
crazy.
So what happens is when it's time for me to get a car, I'm self-conscious because I know I don't have his eye.
Right. Because he was doing the wheel. Everything was meticulous.
So like I'm like, oh, I want the Lamborghini. But the Lamborghini won't be like his. So I don't want the Lamborghini because if I ever roll up on him,
yours is going to look plain.
So I said, you know what? Just let me get me a Range Rover. Just get me a Range Rover, and I bought the 760.
Let me just relax.
I just want just 2 cars he don't have.
Right.
So I bought a Range Rover.
Okay.
And a 760.
You still smooth though.
So he had a 745.
You got him with that
760.
Yeah.
What?
When I'm talking, you probably hit him with that IL, that extra long wheelbase on his ass.
I knew I couldn't get the luxury car and outdo him, and then I didn't want to go to him to make it look good.
So he helped you in a way.
Yes.
And inadvertently, he helped you calm the hell down.
You got to remember, if that's what Gary Payton did, and Gary Payton was, what, 28, 29 at the time? Imagine these 19-year-old kids getting the same money.
They're getting more money. More money than
200, 183.
It's numbers that don't make sense no more.
You know what's so funny about it?
I was like, man.
The kid don't know the difference between $1 million and 100. He just know he get to buy whatever the fuck he want to buy.
Never thought about it like
that. He get to buy whatever he want to buy. And you got to remember, the 19, 20-year-old kid don't have the same appetite as an older guy.
That's true.
So right, so he gonna have like $10 million worth of cars outside, empty ass house.
No furniture.
No furniture, because he only go in his bedroom, in the living room.
Man, I remember, I'll tell y'all a funny quick story, y'all. Chris Tucker went one of my best friends, right? When Chris first got his first mansion, this is like rush hour money. He's like, Bill, man, you gotta come to my house, man. This place is crazy. So we go to Chris' house. We get there. We're playing basketball. We hadn't gone in the house yet. So we outside playing. He got a nice court and stuff. Beep, 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 beep. You know that sound. Something's getting delivered.
Yeah.
He got the Ferrari coming down off the thing. Beep, beep. I said, oh, you brought the Ferrari. Man, it's just something I just want that on y'all, man. Just see it. Walk around it. Walk around. Right? So I said, let's go in the house. We go in the house. He got lawn chairs. Hello? Like you go in this house. Hello? Hello. I'm like, man, you got a $285,000 car and you got lawn chairs in the living room.
Yes. Because you don't know how to decorate. You don't know nothing about this stuff, man. You just know this car can pull up to the club and I can get the girl. You don't know about decorating your house, man.
The funniest thing Chris said to me, he was like, man, I don't know how to do that, man. I don't know. You know people to help me? I was like, man, you need an interior decorator. See, you always know that shit.
See that, but that's the thing. That same thing with a 1920. Think about what you looked at 1920 in college. Like you didn't know. So when these kids buy $10 million homes, 95% of that house is actually empty still.
Yeah, because they don't know what to do.
They don't know what to do. Like,
man.
Like, you don't know what to do. So you just, like, I remember when I bought my house in Washington, I bought it in 2003.
Okay.
I went in the kitchen, my bedroom, the kitchen and the bedroom. The kitchen and the bedroom.
You ain't even check your other
because
bathroom.
I didn't have no kids. Empty. The rest, everything is empty. Then I got a living room. So I had a basement. So back there is the basements.
Okay. Yeah, that back east you got basements, yeah.
The basement was a whole nother house. It had its own kitchen.
So it's the whole length of the house. It's a real basement.
Like it's a real basement.
Yes,
like,
sir.
I mean, it was bedrooms down there. It was 1, 2, 3, had his own living room down there. I didn't go down there. I bought the house in 2003. I didn't go down there till 2006.
It could have been a whole nother family living there.
Like I told the lady, like she was
What
like,
is wrong with you,
she was
Gilbert?
like, so what are you gonna do with the basement? Basement?
Where is
like,
that?
The bottom floor. I was like, oh, yeah, I don't go down there. It's scary.
It's scary. It's dark down there.
I said it's scary down there. She was like,
you can't get no black
she was like,
people
yeah,
no
we can
money.
put a movie theater down there. We can do this. I was like, whatever. Right? Whatever you want to do.
Oh man,
So
you stupid.
So
bro.
she decorates the house. She decorates the house in 2005. Like I got the house decorated 2003, but like really did it in 2004, 5.
Okay.
A year, and I still didn't go down there, motherfucker. And then I went down there like, man, what is this? Who did all that?
You didn't even know it got decorated.
The movie theater down here. Like, damn, there's a movie theater down here.
You know what?
This is a kitchen. It's like, it's not even my house when I went down there.
You went down there like it was somebody else's
I went
crib.
down there like it was somebody
That's
else.
when you got too much money.
No. That's called when you scary.
When you scared.
You
Hey,
scary.
we have 2 questions from outside. We have some fans that want to ask you a couple questions. Do we have those questions?
Yeah, we got 2 questions. One of them, my man in the Burberry hat out here says that when he was in high school, he played basketball and he was actually pretty nice.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Said he saw Gil put up 47 on somebody one night and then went to school and tried the same thing. And the coach benched him. So he blaming you for that. He said, is that your fault?
That ain't my fault. I had a coach that allowed me to just shoot the ball every time. And I had a team. I had teammates. You got to remember. He played in L.A.?
What? You played in Philly?
Oh, that's different. Listen, everybody on my team was like 5'4". So they didn't want to shoot the ball. They just wanted to get the ball to me.
Right.
And I mean, so it was, he said I went to,
He tried to. Hey, yo, did your coach put you at the back of the bench on that?
Coach was like, he done.
Oh my God.
Don't try this at home.
Yeah, you know what's, but that happens a lot. Like whatever you're trying to do in a game, you got to do that in practice.
Yeah. How you practice?
You know what I mean? How you
play.
practice? But seriously, like some guys, they just want to go through practice and then they in-game mentality kicks in, but the coach never seen it. So I usually tell players, whatever you do it in practice. So when they put you in the game, they know what they're getting. So in practice, I never pass the ball. Hey, nobody getting this. Oh, no.
You not getting this ball back. Don't give it to me if you don't want it.
No, y'all, like, when I went to Golden State
Are you
and I was a
lying?
bench player,
Oh, my God.
nobody getting this game. Nah.
It's not coming back?
No, this my game. Oh, my God. I'm the star. I'm the practice star here. So I'm ball hogging.
You ball hogging because you got something, but they don't realize why though. In a way, because you trying to prove yourself.
I'm trying to prove my point. So what happens is, think about it. If I've never passed the ball in practice, and the coach says, "Gilbert, get in," I know what he won't. Oh, I know what he won't. He want me to go shoot this thing. Because that's all I'm showing this man.
But that's your expertise though.
But that's what I said. Like,
oh my God,
like kids got to understand. Like if you go and you practice and you passing it in practice, and then you go in a game and then you gonna shoot, he puts you in the game to pass because that's what he thinks.
Because he think that's who
he
you
think,
are.
oh, you've been controlling the game. Nah, ball hogging.
Yeah,
so when you put me in the game.
You just reminded me of a moment I'm going to share with you. It just popped back in my head. And this was the first time that I was ever on a court with you. You ain't going to remember it because you probably played so many and killed so many people. We was playing at Balboa one time. This is probably maybe 12, 13 years ago. You walked in the gym and everybody was like, you know Gil from California, blah, blah, blah. Gil gonna probably kill everything in here, right? So I was like, I never forget you came in there, you had like a little white beater on. You didn't really look like you strung up your shoes real tough. And you didn't miss nothing. I just went and sat on the stage. I was like, you know what?
Ant was there, right?
Ant was, yeah.
My nemesis.
Yo, there was a dude like Ant was actually pretty crafty, bigger guard, whatever. And he actually taught me my cross, actually. Ant and my boy Stan Fletcher. Shout out Stan Fletcher.
Yeah.
So them cats, we used to be there all the time. When I promise you, I'm not making this up, Gil, you made us look like we was all in kindergarten, bro. It was like we couldn't even play basketball with you. It was ridiculous, bro. It was ridiculous, Gil.
So
I want an apology.
No. So the reason I knew who was there because, so me and Stan went to high school together.
Okay.
So he was on the varsity. I was in the JV.
No way.
Oh yeah. So
I never knew that.
I wasn't gonna play with them.
Okay.
They were too talented. Birmingham was too talented at the time, so I went to Grant, and then I got my thing. Right.
Okay.
So me and Ant was older. So Ant was like, I'm him. Right?
Okay.
And I'm the young guy, like, I don't know about all that, right?
Okay.
So we used to battle all the time at Valley College, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Ant was like, he ain't that good. That should be me. He ain't that good. So I'm in the NBA. This is after my second year, right? I'm in the NBA.
Correct.
I done won rookie All-Star MVP. I just signed $65 million to go to Washington.
Boom.
Anthony's like, man, that shit don't mean nothing.
You ain't that good.
You ain't that good. You ain't that good. I done learned some things. That's what made me come down.
So that's why you put it on.
Yeah, that's why I had to put it on.
I always wanted to know the answer to why we look like shit.
I had to come down there because when it comes to hoop, money don't matter when it comes to hoop.
This is all we right here. It's all
hard.
It's
all hard. So if you're an NBA player and there's this street legend that's supposed to be better than you, you gotta face him still
and let him have it.
So now when people say, "Why did LeBron play? Why did LeBron play in the Drew League?"
Okay,
because there's LA people,
that think,
LA ballers
that think
that he ain't the king.
Oh,
so he had to go down.
You want to see?
Yeah. Okay. So he had to go down there and show I am that king.
All right.
I'm still him. And that's why, some players, y'all be like, yo, why are they playing in neighborhoods like that? Because the rumble of just hoop. Forget the money, forget what I'm doing in it. That NBA don't mean nothing. That's why the rucker was so important.
Food for the soul. We have one more question from the audience.
Yeah, we got one more question.
Come on, my brother, man. And he got a beautiful dog. You can tell he's a sensitive, good man. And beautiful hair. We got condition.
He got the condition.
He got the Troy Polamalu hair. He got that.
He's just blowing in the wind. How you doing, my brother? How you feeling, brother?
He wants you to talk about you saying you wanting to be an international pimp early in your career, was that real? Did you really say that in an interview, or was that all cap?
No. I said that for real.
Did you really?
No. I said that for real.
The gall of you.
I'm coming from Arizona.
Okay.
I'm coming from the Valley.
Holla.
And I got the girls.
You got
I went to prom with 2 girls.
Holla.
I mean, so I'm feeling myself.
Bro, as you should.
So what happens is the rookie orientation is, okay, it's set up like this. You got to remember, it's like the wild, wild west. You don't know who's who. You're trying to size up everybody. You're trying to figure out who's Joe Johnson, who's that? Right? You're trying to figure out. So because I know like hunting, the prey is always in the front.
Oh yeah.
So when I'm looking at an audience, especially when it comes to athletes, the people in the front, they're not confident in their game, so they want to be in front of the coach so the coach can see that they're listening, right? Then you got the middle. You don't know who's in the middle. You can have your snipers in the middle. You can have that real, and then you have most of your talent and the cocky in the back. Right? So you have all the cocky players in the back who's confident in their game. So when they're talking, I'm sitting there like, man, none of this is all meaningless. Like the stuff they're talking about, like, yeah, you got to watch out for the girls and this and that. And it's like, yo, we just can't wait to get our money so we can get to the girls.
Yes, sir.
Are you telling me to run from the girls? I'm saying I want the girls.
I am not.
Like I'm about to be a millionaire. I want the girls.
Yes.
Like I want whatever you talking about, I want it.
Yes.
Right? Because you got to remember, guess who's explaining it? Someone who looks like he don't get girls. Yeah, y'all got to save your money. Like,
he ain't got no chicks.
Yeah, you gets no chicks. Yeah. So now it becomes this joke to me, right? Like, why am I listening to you? Yeah. So
I'm gonna get as many as women.
So you
was on your How to Be a Player, really?
Yes.
There you go. All right, so I feel your swag.
So I already give the signal, like, yo, make sure that microphone get to me, and I got something to say. So everybody's like, you ain't gonna say it. And I was like, damn, I wasn't gonna say it. I was just bullshitting.
Right.
But they actually challenge me now. Now I'm in a thing where if I don't accept this challenge, I look weak mentally.
Crazy. Here we go.
I look mentally.
You gotta get it, bro.
You gotta remember, we're still trying to figure everyone out. So I'm like, oh, okay. They want to see how mentally tough I am. So when the microphone came, I said, right. I already know the question. Can you please go ahead and throw that question one more time for me? What do I want to get out of the NBA? About to go down. I want to be a pimp. Yeah. Right? Right? All right. Who needs this mic next? Right?
Ain't nobody topping that.
And then someone was like, wait, and then he gets all aggressive. Like, no, I'm just playing. He was like, so you think you could justify this and the girls and this and this and this? And everybody's looking like, what you gonna do now?
Right.
Yeah, you're right. And then you know how you talk to yourself? Yeah, I'm already a pimp because I got like this. You know what? I want to be an international pimp. Right, because I'm like,
I don't want no domestic stuff.
Yeah, I want to international.
I'm trying to get this thing worldwide.
Yeah. And it didn't matter what he said after.
Yeah.
Because they know whoever that is,
yes,
he's doubles down. So if we ever have to guard him,
it's gonna be a problem.
It's gonna be a problem.
He's
not backing down. And that really was the message that I don't give a shit who's trying to challenge me.
Right.
I'm coming.
Period.
It hurt my draft status.
But
they feared the mentality already. And technically, I did become an international pimp. It just came in check form.
Okay.
I was pimping them checks in China, like Russia. I was getting. Oh, hey, listen, it might have been no
played everywhere where the check was.
Yeah, everywhere where the check was. I was getting them checks internationally.
Hey, I want to thank you for definitely stopping by Top Billin and being so natural and just informative and being you. Mm-hmm. Tell our listeners where we can follow you as well and listen to your podcast.
I'm on Fubo TV, Fubo Sports TV, the No Chill. There's a No Chill with, I've done changed this shit so many times. There's No Chill with Gilbert Arenas.
Yes. I follow you on Instagram.
Yeah, so it's No Chill with Gilbert Arenas on Fubo Network.
Yes. And Gilbert, I appreciate you stopping by. I had so many more questions to ask you, but you know what? I think we covered. Did we get it? There's one that I wanted to get that I missed.
I mean, you know, when a flow like this is moving, my job is to try to keep everything on keep it in motion. And when y'all just flow, I'm like, he's not asking any of these questions, but it sounds so good. So I'm just let it run.
But I told you.
That's how it goes.
But I was saying, I was trying to grab some of them, but it's like, I know Gil so well, like I don't really need this. It's
but
like,
that's how usually it goes.
Yeah.
You have your list, and then y'all get to go.
Like I feel like
that's how you know it's good chemistry.
Oh, I got one quick question. No, it's not a question, but it's a story, and then we'll be out. This is gonna be just something you can cut to, right? All right. Was there any epic moment that you party with somebody that you was like, I can't believe I'm here and I got a game tomorrow? Because I got a story to tell you what happened to me. You partying with somebody and you know you got a big game tomorrow, but you partying anyway and you go.
Actually, no.
No?
Like I never partied before the game. Like I never did it. Like so I was
You were a good guy, Gil?
No, I was disciplined to say, like I'll go to my teammates and say, yo, I'm only going out 1 or 2 times this season.
Okay.
So whoever has the bomber's birthday, I'm going to. The rest of y'all are fucked.
Because I'm not doing it.
Because I'm not doing it. You know, so, but I've seen Allen Iverson.
I party with, I was getting ready to say it.
Oh, you for real?
Oh my God. Shout out to Allen Iverson. You ain't never felt this way. It's 2 people that I party with, Allen Iverson and Dennis Rodman. And let me tell you 2 different styles of like dangerous. You ain't never felt this close like it could really go bad. Because this is when Allen Iverson is on fire. AI is AI praise. 300,000 round the neck, 72,000 in the pocket, half the money hanging out. This AI with the do-rag in the club. AI's like, yo, man, what you drinking? He Hennessy cat. So I don't drink Hennessy, I'm drinking vodka. I forget what city we in, but we getting it, and AI can drink. I'm like, AI ain't gonna make it tomorrow, man. Matter of fact, I think we was in Philly. I'm like, AI done. This ain't no way AI is going to play with what we are doing. I turned on the TV 49.
Yep. No.
Every shot he took smelled like Hennessy.
Yeah, that was his routine.
It was crazy. Bro, we was getting it in. Like, this was like no COVID, no nothing. Cats having a good time. He's the man in Philly having a good time. My man went out and gave him buckets, right? Number 2 story. This is when the Bulls is rumbling. I'm in Chicago shooting Love Jones, right? We go out. Back then, it was a club called Crowbar. And I don't know if Dennis Rodman was part owner in Crowbar or whatever, but it was like it was mostly a white club, but they played a little hip hop, but it was kind of a mixture club, kind of like a
International
kind of club. Cool. Anyway, big warehouse thing, right? So I get there, and Dennis Rodman's at the bar, and he's got on like a leather bra or something crazy, you know, with spurs or something coming out his ass, whatever it was. He had on some bugged out shit, and so he's like, Bellamy, welcome to my city. You drinking? I was like, I don't know what you drinking. No, I cannot make this up. They had shots. It was probably like 20 tequila shots. I cannot make this shit up. And everybody, go, 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 go. Dennis Rodman knocked off 20 of those. And tequila ain't no easy walk, bro. He had the next day probably 19 rebounds and 12 points and about 8 assists off of 20 shots.
But you know what it is? See, this is the trick. Because the club is like 11, 2 in the morning, right? They just sleep all day for the game. See, it's not like they got to wake up in the morning. So they don't have to wake up in the morning and play a morning game. Now, if this was like a 2 o'clock game, they done. But they got...
An 8 o'clock or 7:30 game.
But it's a 7:30.
But you ain't got to go to practice or nothing?
No, hell no. You ain't going to practice.
Man, I didn't know that.
I'm going to tell you a story why I didn't want to party with AI.
Okay, go.
So, you got to remember, I'm in D.C. AI's in Philly.
Yes, sir.
But if there was something popping in DC, AI, they gonna drive AI all the way to DC for AI to party.
Absolutely.
Right? And then he gonna get drunk and they gonna take him all the way back home. So I pull up to the club, right? It's like crazy outside. And then AI gets out of the car. Then he had the 4 horsemen.
Big boys.
Big. I mean,
Big.
big. Right? And I'm like, you know how you sit in the back like, yeah, I don't even want to say hello. Because like, you know, there's like certain people.
He was damn near on some Tupac shit.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
Some people that just bigger than life.
He was bigger than life, and he was only like 6 feet tall.
It was like, I'm the franchise player here, but I don't have the power like this.
Nah, AI was rolling. He was rolling different.
So I'm just sitting, I'm like, let me just let them go in first, right? You know, let me go in first. I just hang out here by the valet. Right? This is when I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go home. Today is just not one of those days.
Yeah, it don't feel like this is going to be
I've never in my life seen someone fighting to get in the club.
They start fighting outside because they couldn't get in.
No, they're fighting to get. That's how many women and what's the name was trying to get to them. They punching and swinging, body slamming to get inside the club. I'm like, oh,
No.
hell no. Like, damn. I'm like, I've never seen this in my life. Like, usually it's like, all right, everybody move out the way. And there's like this easy little tunnel to the club. No. They picking women up, get off of them, pick them up, body slamming, punching. Got somebody in the headlock, somebody against the wall. And I'm like, they doing all this to get in there?
For all the people that are listening to Top Billin right now, we about to get out of here. But I want to tell you, these are the type of discussions that we're going to have on this podcast, where you get insight on things you would never hear on any other podcast. Shout out to Allen Iverson. Thank you for giving us the best of the 90s into the 2000s. You did it big like no other could do it. How many other people did we mention? Shout out to Dennis Rodman, wherever you are. I love you.
You ever been around with T-Mac?
No, I never partied with
Now, we're
T-Mac.
going to need to do another episode.
Yeah,
y'all
we have to
y'all
do
got
it.
stories.
Let me just throw this one out here. I'm going to just show you how, like, me and him, we're part of Adidas family, right?
Okay, absolutely.
So I know how big I am in China. Right? So when I get there, it's like, like hundreds of people. Like, yeah, Gilbert, right? The Grand General. So they call me the Grand General. Deja June, right? So me and T-Mac, we're doing this T-Mac versus Gilbert like basketball game. Right? With Ball Up, Demetrius.
Okay.
Right? He took us out there. So I get off the plane first, right? I see thousands. And I'm sitting here like,
boy, they love me in China.
Boy, I knew I was big, but I didn't know I was this big. This is crazy. Oh, they about to stun on me. I'm about to stun on them.
Right.
You know, because it's like me, T-Mac, and then there's like rest of the Ball Up guys, you know, Bone collecting them. Right. So they come in, so they're like, yeah, I'm about to stun on them real quick. T-Mac comes and erupted. Boom. T-Mac-o! And I'm like, T-Mac-o? This is Gilbert.
What about me?
Yeah.
Hi, so me. Give out.
So look, so T-Mac gets, and they just, T-Mac, everyone. See, when I came off, the signs wasn't up yet, so I'm thinking it's me. Them T-Mac signs came. I mean, when I say, it seemed like all of China came to the airport.
Man,
I felt so little, man. It's
that
like
hurt your soul.
Like
that hurt your soul.
Like T-Mac came in after they just what's the name, and I'm just sitting there like,
oh yeah,
I don't even want to be here.
Sometimes, man, it happens.
I don't even want to be like I didn't even want to be there. Man. I hated that man. So like, you know, when we get in this game, I'm scoring 60 on this man. Like that's how mad I was,
bro. You gotta understand there's levels to this.
Yeah, I didn't know there was that was a level.
You thought that was for you.
I didn't know there was another. I didn't know. Gotta remember, I never played with the Kobe and Shaq and the Jordan.
Right.
Watching that T-Mac moment let me know that AI moment. What Jordan was on.
Absolutely.
What Shaquille and Kobe was on.
Yeah, man, it's another level,
like,
bro.
I'm sitting here like, yo, this is he's T-Mac.
He's a movement, bro.
I had to sit, listen, I had to sit behind it.
He's stuck, G. He's stuck.
Look, I had to sit behind it like when there's
Trauma
1,000 people
real.
here and then he walked and then they walk with him and you sitting there by yourself like,
They didn't even meet nothing.
all right, do I gotta so nobody gonna get my luggage?
So
I gotta get
y'all just gone?
I'm just a regular ass player now, huh? Now I know how my teammates felt. I'm just a regular ass player now. Huh?
Yeah. Hey man, Gilbert, thank you so much
no
for coming
problem.
by. For all our listeners, that's a wrap on Top Billin. Hey, each and every week you will hear we drop episodes every Wednesday. Make sure you support the podcast. We are on Spotify, Apple Music, and you will also see the video on YouTube TV under Breakbeat Media. My name is Bill Bellamy. We out. Peace.
Peace.